You feel a tight constriction around your body. Then suddenly a fleshy curtain opens, and you fall out of a black, gooey hole onto a damp floor. And then, about an hour later, you're surrounded by other wet, blind, and fragile beings just like yourself. Well, hello, kitty. Your mom just dropped you and the rest of your litter into the world, and she's pretty stressed, but you don't care. To hell with you, Chad. Instead of waiting for her to recover her strength, you and your gang instantly attack her teats. But she doesn't push you away for being annoying little pricks. She just lies there and takes the torture, because she knows you're weaklings, and you'll die without her milk. Even after your eyes open 6 days later, you continue living on your mama's juice for 2 more weeks. But not for much longer. Enough! The milk bar closes the day she brings home what looks like a headless rat in her mouth and drops it in front of you and your siblings. The second you smell the blood, you instinctively fight over the carcass to get a bite. Wow, that's tasty! Then, 2 days later, you see how she got the rat when she takes down another one in front of you and your sibs. And after watching the magic of the hunt, you can't wait to get out there and start terrorizing the rodents too. Perhaps you could find something even more delicious for yourself. However, the next day, a human walks into the barn where your mom is hiding you and your brothers and sisters. And immediately, you hear his footsteps. You all cower behind the bales of hay. You do your best to stay silent and blend into your surroundings. But he seems to know exactly where you are as he walks directly toward your hiding place. And, like a mechanical claw in a claw machine, he reaches down and picks you up. Then, outside the barn, you watch him take a couple of shiny round objects as he gives you to some strangers. Before you can meow your protests, your new handlers throw you into a wooden cage and ship you off on a fast wagon. Some days later, you arrive at this huge house. You know it's a castle because your kitten nappers haven't shut up about it since they picked you up. You pass an enormous doorway opened by a man wearing a funny dress and hat and carrying a pointy stick. It's all so grand, and the architecture is simply incredible. Inside the house, you see a woman sitting in an oversized chair in a large room. She's decked in a pretty blue dress, and her face is painted to make her look even more beautiful. And when one of your abductors hands you to her, she promptly starts rubbing your fur with her soft hands. It feels very strange at first, but soon you get used to it. In fact, if you want to be an honest cat, you kinda like it. This is new, but it's nice. I'll allow it. So you snuggle against the nice woman and get comfortable on her lap. Then you watch the men receive a lot more of the shiny round stuff before they leave. Hey, come back. Do I live here now? They can't hear you. Maybe because you're a cat, and they are traders of exotic animals. Yeah, I said exotic, but don't let that get into your head. You're a chartreuse, possibly a domesticated breed of Syrian feral cats. And your woolly blue-gray coat and bright golden eyes make you quite a prize. Which is why those men went through the trouble of taking you from France to England. So you're now the noble pet of Lady Elena, the Duchess of Edinshire, and you're about to find out just how lucky you are. That night, during dinner, the maids serve you a bowl of cheese and a lot of some kind of bird meat. Is this for me? Are you kidding? No, they're not. This is just your life now. And later, when you go to sleep, you hear a mouse scuttling across the floor of the hallway outside your door. If that's what you think it is, then this night's about to get fun. So you stealthily walk out of the room like the creep you are and turn on your night vision. Then you run after the animal and catch it by the tail. But the mouse is a fierce scrapper. You can't believe it actually gave up its tail and ran away. So, a little disappointed, you spit on the tail and waddle back to your room. You weren't hungry anyway, and that wasn't too bad for your first hunt. For the next 6 months, you eat like a whale, sleep like a sloth, and get pampered and petted until you're a fat gray puss. You now look like a middle-aged man whose favorite exercise is criticizing professional sportsmen from the comfort of their couch. But to your owner, you haven't let yourself go at all. You're a perfect picture of health, and she loves you just the way you are. And because you're now a big baby, she's been taking you out regularly to show you off to her friends. Apart from the companionship you provide her, this was exactly why she bought you. You're a social accessory, just like the monkeys and tiny lapdogs you've seen with the other noble women. You've been visiting palaces, meeting royals and noblemen, and attending high-profile parties. Life has been so good that you're starting to think you're more than a cat. You're starting to think you must have been a human in your past life, and that's why they love you so much. But calm down, all right? This is not ancient Egypt where you were worshipped and at the peak of your cuteness. These days, especially in medieval Europe, nobody except your owner and people like her gives two shits about a spoiled feline like you. In fact, you know what? It's time for a short reality check. One summer afternoon, you're spraying a door when one of the guards picks you up and hands you to your madam. You take your seat on her lap as the wagon pulls onto the street, and the moment you're out of the castle, you smell something awful. You tell yourself it must be rotten roadkill or some other foul stuff. But out of the corner of your eye, you see it, and every hair on your body stands up. It's a dead cat. Someone had crushed a cat's skull and left its body to rot by the roadside. Yuck. Later, you get to your destination, and it's one of your favorite places in the world. In your 2 years with the Duchess, you visited this castle more than any other. And even though the dead cat makes it look like cat fans are scarce, they love you here. So, your owner comfortably leaves you with one of the cooks. And in the kitchen, while devouring a bowl of fish, you overhear the cook's conversation. They're talking about how some villagers had tracked a black cat to an old widow's house, and how, after confirming she was a witch, they had tied her and her cat in a bag and thrown them into the river. Well, thanks to those genius storytellers, you now have to spend the next couple of months having nightmares about cat killers. But now that you know what cat life is like on the streets of medieval England, you never stray far from the castle. And because you live like a hermit, it takes you 5 years to find a female cat to have your kittens. She was a street cat. It was a one-night stand, but it was a night you'll never forget. In fact, the day after the fling, you pose for a portrait with your owner, and the painter captures you smiling in the painting, the way only breaking 5 years of celibacy can make one smile. And since cats are naturally deadbeat dads, you never see your kids, and you never miss them for a second. You'll have several other flings until you reach the ripe age of 10. By then, you're a little slower than you used to be. Being a lifetime glutton hasn't helped your aging body at all. Added to that, your 10th year isn't a merry one because the plague, spread by flea-infected rats, has reached your town. And unfortunately, Lady Elena is now sick with it. So, being her fat, furry buddy, you decide to get her something to cheer her up. For years, you've been patrolling the castle's corridors, preying on all trespassers and keeping your home safe from vermin. So, you know exactly where to get this special present. And since it's one of your favorite things, you can't see why she won't like it too. You keep yourself incognito while waiting at a spot close to a hole in the wall. And soon, a big rat scurries out of it and runs past you, and you expertly chase it down and chomp off its head. You're proud of your work, and you know your mama would be proud as well. You're sure your owner would come alive immediately when she sees what you got her. The blood is still dripping from the rat when you take it to her bedside, but surprisingly, your gesture doesn't get the reaction you expect. Get out! After that day, you never see the Duchess again. You're locked out of her room, and whenever you try to sneak in, someone is always there to kick you out. But it doesn't matter, because you've also come down with something. And 6 days later, your heart stops working.